How can we choose best payment gateway for online business?
See, today I think it's a very complex world and the models are evolving right now. When we talk about only online, it is not only the internet per se. There are a lot of people who are fulfilling their orders in an offline basis also. So it's a combination of online commerce, but basically a captive call center which takes an order. So both of the things in combination basically provides a complete experience for a customer also. In such a scenario, anybody, any company which is going to look at a payment option should look at a 360-degree payment service provider, which can provide them not only maybe an internet payment option, but also an IVR-based payment option also, which gives you basically a complete end-to-end solution which a person can use, and that's how they can complete the entire order and fulfillment cycle.
Okay, right. So what are new technologies in payment gateways you have seen?
Payment, I think you see a lot of innovations happening right now. For example, from Atom, what we have done right now is we rolled one thing what is called as express checkout, both for internet as well as for IVR. Then we have done a whole lot more innovations on EMI. We launched EMI for credit cards for customers, because it's not about just giving a normal payment gateway, because the industry as it evolves. Normally, people have been using your credit card and your normal payment gateways for only paying through your credit card, debit card, or net banking. Now, increasingly, a customer or an end consumer wants a better option of payment, because in an economy which is right now, you would want to pay up in EMIs and you want to maximize your revenues also. So, we have come out with EMI for credit cards. Express checkout for basically doing faster things. We are at time as a company is also focused on prepaid. We have a license from as a semi-closed prepaid license also we have. That's something which we can work with e-commerce merchants to provide a complete prepaid experience and create a wallet experience over the internet websites. So there are a whole lot of innovations that are happening on online payment gateways. Plus on the offline side, there are a lot more innovation. Like for example, we have been traditionally leaders in IVR space, and in IVR, I think the kind of complexity that has evolved that we have done, in kind of work we have done in every model, every way in which a customer would want, whether it is an inbound IVR, or they want to do an outbound call center and run an IVR over an outbound basis, all the things we have been powered. So innovations are constantly happening on a payment side. Yes, that's where we would want to be on the top of the curve.
We have seen various players in this industry like CC Avenue, like PayU, like EVS. So how you guys are different than others?
See, ultimately, when I look at a customer coming in for Atom, why they should choose Atom per se is basically you look at one is basically what is the kind of solution offering from Atom per se. It's an end-to-end solution offering. It's just not about being commercial out there, but beyond commercials. Because what kind of options you want to offer to your customers and other things, and that's where we differentiate ourselves from basically any other service provider. So it's not basically just looking at maybe a pure payment gateway as a commodity product, but we're saying we're going beyond and saying beyond things and saying payment gateway is not just a commodity product. You need to look at a lot more value adds beyond that. Like for example, your EMI options, your basically net banking options, IMPS, IVR, the whole lot of the works out there. So what kind of options are we providing? So that's where our customers have chosen us. Basically, a lot of customers have chosen us. And for example, one of our largest segments that we are operating in is in the financial markets, where we are providing net banking for maybe fund transfer for customers to their broking accounts. Now, if it has been tested in the financial markets, you can see the robustness and scalability of a platform and how fast, how better platforms you created out there. And that's where we say, okay, fine, that's where Atom stands out in front of other competition.
That's great. So please tell us more about IVR.
IVR is it's a homegrown technology. If you look at it, one of the things which we had innovated, we're not invented per se, because IVR has been around on a plain basis for a long time. But IVR based payments, and around 3-4 years back, when people are looking at monetizing their call centers, and because call centers were very expensive to maintain, and customer would call the call center and there were no sales happening, sales were dropping out at call centers. All the customers, for example, we had leading merchants like Fame and Tata Sky who were looking at monetizing those customer drops and converting that into basically actual sales. And that's where IVR helped, and we created a complete and comprehensive IVR. IVR stands for actually interactive voice response. So today, for example, from a very, very laymanish perspective, you see an automated voice when you're talking to a bank or maybe somebody else. You say press 1 for this, press 2 for basically a second option. A similar option is there on an IVR. In what we've done in IVR is we connected the payment leg behind that and made it a secure end-to-end channel for accepting payments. Earlier, people were doing it basically by giving the credit card number and card numbers to the agent behind the voice pro or the BPO or the call center. Here, you don't need to do that. Here, you can basically use an IVR by just keying it, and it gives you a secure framework where you can enter your card details on a phone and provide the details.
Okay. What improvement you want to see in Indian IVR market?
One of the key things which I would want to see is basically there has been regulations around second factor authentication for IVR. We do welcome second factor authentication from the regulators, but what we feel is the way it has been implemented using one-time passcode really needs to be thought of and looked at, because one of the things which we've been really propagating is a consistent authentication mechanism and methodology over internet IVR as well as on the point of sale. And having said that, on OTP, anything that is going to inconvenience the customer is going to move towards cash. And our goal is to make sure that customer comes back to electronic channel. We had seen a good amount of transactions happening earlier, but with the implementation of OTP around last February, that is February 2011, after that we have seen a good amount of transactions dropping off. Now, that's purely because of the customer experience, both in terms of basically being able to generate the OTP and their experience in terms of getting the OTP from the various banks and the kind of failures that have been seen. So the overall goal, what we would, I think one of the key things we would expect and we would want to change is basically to ensure that either we have some sort of an alternate mechanism, if not an alternate mechanism, at least look at some sort of a relaxation in basically the amount which is required for OTP. For example, let's say up to 5,000 rupees, no OTP is required, and beyond 5,000 rupees, OTP is required for a high value purchase. So that, yes, the security is a concern beyond for a high value transaction, not as much for a low value transaction. Now, if you look at on a anomaly with, on a parallelly analogy with mobile banking, at 5,000 rupees, it's a kind of a non-secure transaction. You're allowed to do non-secure transaction to 5,000. So same thing if they apply as a basis out here for IVR, I think that would really work and help the industry.
Okay, we have seen one more product, Atom mobile banking. So what's the special about this?
The key thing, what we're differentiating again, it's not a normal mobile banking product, because one is from a mobile banking, we're covering all the channels and all the handset manufacturers. So it's not about just an application. We're saying on USSD as well as on SMS, we are providing the channels. But over and above that, what we offer is, because today we have a 1,000+ strong merchant base, which can be offered to the banks as a mobile, as an additional platform for generating revenue for the banks, or as well as providing services to their own customers. For example, bill payments or recharges or any other services which a bank would want. And that is something which we are only providing right now as a complementary thing, along with basically our mobile banking platform. And that makes a difference in terms of what kind of mobile banking platform that we created.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Devang.